Five Nights at Freddy's. A series, at least. It's been a while since I last spoke about it. In the previous title, we faced 11 animatronics over the course of 6 nights, and 1. Our journey through the horror franchise continues here, as well. This place was inspired by the horrors of our previous jobs, and by coincidence, they found one. A real one. Fazbear Frights hires you and I to look through the place and monitor on a night shift basis to make it not explode. But just like our first adventures, there's always someone to mess it up. Minor flashing lights and jump scare warning, everyone. That's right, we're all old. A decade in review, Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Promise y'all, that's part of the trailer. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course good night, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another video. I'm your host, the Gaming Minecart, and today we are celebrating a decade in review for Five Nights at Freddy's 3. This game has been my personal torture chamber since I first played it back in 2017, and I mean that sincerely. This absolute hellscape of a FNAF title has never failed to make me rage quit when I play. I only beat it to get a fair review for this video, and that was back in September because it doesn't work on my Switch anymore. Needless to say, I don't like this game in almost every way possible, but I'm still gonna give it its own decade in review video because I can and I have to. Without further ado, Gamer's Little Playground will be in the description, and let's begin with... This game is painfully mechanical. There are no doors, no lights, only a camera system for the main halls and vents, which is the only remaining part of the original's precedent. Along with that, there are 3 other new mechanics, all more annoying than the last. These 3 make up an entire system on their own of errors. The first of these pains are video errors. After night 1, which is literally just a stationary night, nothing happens in night 1, video errors will occur where you can't view your cameras after a certain time period that is decided by what night you're on. Yes, it stacks up until the night ends. This sucks because it kicks you out of the ability to see where your problem child is. Second up is the audio errors. When you open your cameras, you have an option to swap between the vent and the hallway cameras, but there's also an audio lure option above that. This takes the knife diddler away to the location you lured him to. If you use enough of these, the option will just entirely break and you'll get an audio error. Now he's essentially in free roam mode. Third issue, and the worst issue, is the ventilation error. Ventilation errors are annoying fucking brats. This irrational problem is caused by being jump scared by any of the non-lethal phantom animatronics, or just randomly. It can just happen at no given circumstance. I think it just automatically happens after 4 a.m., but like, these irrational problems also blur your vision. Like, it makes your eyes look like you're opening and closing, and fill your ears with heavy breathing sound effects. And the room flashes red color, like red tint, and just the normal color. And on top of that, the problem child that I've been talking about's aggressiveness increases. There's only one way to remedy these issues, and it's to move your player across the screen to the other side of the room where you can see the door that you can die from, and flip up the error panel. And this is where you fix one of the errors or all of them. It's overall just a dumbass system, if you can't tell. Anyway, I'm going to refer to the rotting bunny corpse by name now. FNAF 3 is a dumbass game. There are more characters than FNAF 1, but all of the characters in FNAF 3 are essentially copies of the characters from either FNAF 2 or FNAF 1, all except one of them. So Springtrap is too relevant to the lore to talk about here, but however I will refer to him minimally because he is a kind of important character to the game. So there's a dead guy in the suit who did his own killings, and he co-founded Freddy Fazbear's Pizza with someone named Henry Emily. However, that's not relevant to the game. He's the only animatronic in this game who can physically kill you. So, he's the problem child I'm talking about. I don't know why, he's just that spook. The Phantom animatronics are the only other characters that are non-lore purposeful existence in the game. And there's 6 of them, so let's talk about Phantom Freddy first. Phantasm Fastfuck is the entity who will randomly limp across the long hallway window in your office. If you look at him for too long, he'll duck down and jump scare you. The only way to avoid him is to keep your camera up the whole time that he's walking across your window or looking at the errors. You can switch, you just have to be fast about it. The Balloon Boy Phantom Boy is once again a sporadic little bastard. Where have I seen that before? He can spawn on literally any camera past night 1, because again, nothing happens on night 1, and he'll jump scare you if you look at him for too long. And by too long, I mean like half a second. Phantom Mangle is a Cam 4 exclusive character, but he's a more common problem than the other exclusive characters. He shows up in the camera view at random, like all other Phantoms, and if you don't close the monitor or go to a different camera before he jump scares you, he'll jump scare you. Phantom Chica is a Cam 7 exclusive. She spawns on the arcade monitor in that camera, and if you don't switch away, she'll jump scare you. Fun. Phantom Foxy is a special case, as he's the only stationary Phantom outside the cameras. He stands where the error fixing screen is, and when you turn to it and he's there, he will jump scare you. Because why not? And Phantom Puppet, the worst bitch in this grouping. She spawns in Cam 8 and is standing there, not looking at the camera at all. But if you flip onto that camera for too long, she spawns in your office and blocks your vision for a whole 17 seconds until she jump scares you. There's nothing you can do to make her leave faster, or check the cameras, or fix the errors, or do anything but let her stare into your soul for the longest jump scare in existence. I fucking hate this character. Anyway, let's move on before I kill Charlie twice, shall we? How do I explain this? I'll figure it out. Editing me here, the original writing for this section was literally an extra 4,000 characters. So, here's the simplification. So there's a guy named William Afton, and he co-founds the Freddy Fazbear franchise, tongue twister, with another one Henry Emily, as I spoke about earlier. William is a freaky motherfucker and decides that child murder isn't that bad of an idea. He then proceeds to kill 6 kids in a spring Bonnie suit. Now he has 6 corpses and 5 animatronics. What does he do? He stuffs 2 of them into a single suit and calls it a day. Over time, the ghosts of the children are alive in the animatronics and sentientize the suits. After talking about the odors and a staff member discovering the bodies inside of the suits, the pizzeria shuts down. William comes back eventually to retrieve the parts of the dead animatronic children because he needed something from them. Don't know why. But he accidentally releases the souls. He then gets scared into the back room where he killed all of the children and decides, if I go back into my old Springlock suit, which is now incredibly weathered, incredibly loose, and incredibly dangerous to use, and incredibly wet, I'll definitely scare them off. Stupid! Anyway, that's how Springtrap was made. Also, did I mention that Afton is essentially immortal? So where did the phantoms come from? Hell if I know. What I think is that they're either hallucinations or the released souls of the dead children, given there's 6 of them and 6 dead kids. I don't know for sure, though. Control-C, Control-V the script for this section for FNAF 2. Once again, there isn't a very large skill ceiling for FNAF 3, but there is one. The FNAF 3 speedrun leaderboards, which exist by the way, are full of runs, and the things they do are really easy for the most part. The main thing they do throughout the whole game is just stare at cams and track Springtrap until there's an error, and then they fix the error. Along with using really fast as fuck lines in the sections after every night where there's mini games. It's about the same as the other two games. Hey, it's my biggest complaint about this game. Look at this goddamn jump scare. That's not a jump scare. That's a jump scare that I own Tommy Copper. Bro's walking up to us like, "Hey, kiddo, you want some weed?" However, everything else in the game is, especially the environment, is way scarier than the previous FNAF games. Probably because it's canonically a horror attraction. The phantom jump scares are decent, though. I don't personally enjoy this game. It doesn't run right on my Switch anymore, so I'm going off of the last time I beat it, which was back in September, when I'm thinking about personal experiences. I do love the fact that this game ends in fucking arson, but the game as a whole is just like a shit stain. Also, it's like, from when I looked at it originally, it's stupid difficult. Like, it's harder than all of the other FNAF games for no reason. Like, literally no, I'm pretty sure it's just like heavily bugged. It would have been the perfect end to the trilogy, but they just had to make another. Scott! This did its duty as a wrap-up to the child murder strewn in the first two, killing the killer with being burnt, alive? Dead? Rebirthed? I don't fucking know. But before we head to the next trauma-inducing mascot of 2815, we must take a detour. A long drive to a vehicle-sized stadium. Rev your engines, charge your boosts, and prepare for a lot of explosions. There's a World Cup to participate in. Welcome to Rocket League. Thanks for watching. Let's have your